Now, it may seem hard to believe that by testing the strength or indeed the weakness of your muscles can determine how your whole nervous system is working and the state of your internal organs. The practice is known as kinesiology. This is just such a fascinating subject, you know. How does kinesiology work?
The basic way that it works is that we realise that muscles are related to organs as well as enzyme systems as well as glands. And when a muscle tests out to be weak, it's not necessarily the muscle itself that's at fault. It could be the organ that's related to or the gland. And we try and find out why that is.
So this is the bit I'm looking forward to. Kinesiology is completely non-invasive, so the patient is fully clothed during the session.
I'm going to try and find out today if there's any foods that you are intolerant to as opposed to allergic to.
So you've got a box of tricks there?
Yes, I have.
What goes on there?
Normally, I would use these little things here. They're called homeopathic nosodes. Now, what they are is the energy of the foods that we have, energy of other chemicals as well.
But for our purposes today,
for our purpose today, we've just used that as a demonstration, but I am going to use real foods today because people do eat real foods. They don't eat these no-sodes.
Dr. Sam uses a whole variety of ingredients to determine whether his patients have a negative reaction to particular food types. By simply placing that food on the tongue, in this instance wheat, he can give an instant diagnosis.
That's lovely. What you're going to do is pull this knee up towards your chest, okay? Pull hard as you can towards you. That's very good. There you go, and it goes weak. You see what happens when I take this away? Put it on there, and then I'll use it without anything. Pull this up towards your chest, pull towards you, and it is strong.
So I'm not allergic to wheat.
No, wait, when you put your tongue out, and I put this on your tongue, see what happens? Pull towards you, is that you have a big problem with wheat.
How can you tell that just from pushing my leg up?
Your leg muscle should be strong. This happens to be one of the strongest muscles in the body. All I'm going to get you to do is to pull your knee up towards your chest, and I'm going to resist that, okay? So pull up. Muscles work because of our nervous system. And if our nervous system overreacts to something, it just can't cope with it. And that's why it actually lets go of the muscle, and the muscle becomes weak. So the alternative to wheat we have to test as well, which is one of the alternatives anyway, is in fact rye. So this is a piece of rye. I'm going to put it on your tongue again, and then use your leg, bend your knee for me, and pull your knee up towards your chest, pull hard as you can, and you have no problem with the rye.
What about citrus?
Yeah, we'll go for citrus. This is another one that we're going to look at. Same thing, arms either side for me, please, Gloria, and pull towards you, and you have a problem with citrus.
I do. No, I didn't tell you that to begin with.
Right, the other...
If I ate that orange,
yes,
it would be in this thumb joint within seconds. I would feel it.
We think we can eat everything, but now that people realise that food will give them problems, and they can find out for themselves which foods.
So Dr. Sam seems to have made a good diagnosis as far as my food intolerances go. But is kinesiology something that the medical profession would recommend?
Well, with kinesiology, I can't accept the basic principle that each muscle is related to an organ in the body via an energy pathway, and I can't accept that they can detect imbalances in the body by assessing muscle resistance and diagnosing nutritional deficiencies and allergies through this sort of method is totally unacceptable to me. I mean, there's no scientific evidence. However, it doesn't do any harm, no physical harm anyhow. It's not going to do you any physical damage.
I mean, there is an awful lot of scepticism about complementary treatments anyway, and I can hear an awful lot of people saying it's ridiculous to think that you could hold a bit of food to the body or taste something for a second and you can tell immediately by how you flex your leg, you know, that you're allergic to it. So how do you deal with that scepticism?
I don't have a problem with that, simply because if I go to a neurologist and he starts testing my muscles exactly the same way as I've been testing yours, that's accepted. It's not a problem. Just the fact that we've actually taken this further and starting to open up the whole area of testing, it doesn't mean that it's wrong, it doesn't mean that it's, you know, there's any need for scepticism. It is a fact that it works. Hundreds and thousands of practitioners worldwide use the method and they get their patients better, and it actually helps.
Well, you know what? When I'm not having my Weetabix or whatever it is tomorrow, and when I am having my porridge, I'll think of you.
Thank you.
I'm going to change my diet now.
That'd be lovely.